Like, I'm mad, I'm triple mad, but complaining really sucks now because, again, our grandparents didn't have the options we have.
Let's be honest. All of us sweat the small stuff from time to time. But when it comes to being successful, worrying too much about the day-to-day can be devastating. Be dangerous in everything that you do, and don't let yourself put all your eggs in one basket. Have a backup plan in place at all times, so that no matter what you lose, there is always something on the back burner. Don't be afraid to lead. It's okay if there is friction between those who lead and those who work. The leader is the one standing at the forefront who sees what is happening next.
When I think about anything I buy, it's 100% for me, even all the tchotchkes.
Don't get stuck in the past. You find what you are looking for. Be positive and learn to look for it. If you search out negativity, that's what you will get. Don't just be positive. Be practical. Spend time with those who inspire you and help you, regardless of who it is. Most of the failures in your life are micro failures. Most people make those the fear of the day-to-day problems. But most people make those small failures into much bigger events. Don't be afraid to take chances and move forward just because of the fear of the day-to-day problems. If you fear failing on the micro level, you'll never gain momentum on the macro level.
Singular thing that I think will allow me to create a lot of success in my life. That's why I'm the best at my craft. I don't even want to be at the mercy of my own employees. That's why I got my hands in absolutely everything. What if they quit? What if they get sick? What if they get bored? What if they win the lottery? That's literally how I think about everything. That's why I'm in everything. I don't micromanage, but I'm dangerous enough in everything because I don't want a point of failure. Your point of failure is called Google. They literally change it, no matter how evergreen and white hat you've been, they just might decide that video content is part of their macro strategy. So what I always think is when you got something working, always have a nest egg of 20% of your money and energy of building up other things that if God forbid your 80 goes to zero, 98% of them thought I was out of my mind. Didn't believe in it at all. Thought that I'm like the crazy founder and like I'm silly, but like when it becomes real, this, lead. Anytime you have full buy-in from your employees, you're in a dangerous place. I think the reality is, I very much do believe that you find what you're looking for. I grew up in a household where I had probably extremities on both sides. I had certain family members who were just disproportionately negative. And like, regardless of, like when something good happened, it was hedged immediately with like, that's a conspiracy. Just enormous like negativity. And then my mom, thank God, because it was the primary person I spent my first, 14 years with every day, was so disproportionately positive. And so, I lived a life where it's very obvious to me that you can have a very different perspective on the same situation because I had two very big different reactions growing up to a lot of things. And I just wish that, it's very easy to find negativity if you're looking for it right now, but it's equally easy to find positivity. Nobody's talking about that. And I have a lot of empathy. I can imagine like a lot of people sitting in the audience, like for me, it's practical positivity, right? So for me, where this conversation goes is like, for a lot of people, they can be sitting here and be like, oh, it's easy for you to say. Like people go immediately to your current, right? And I just don't see it that way. I really genuinely believe that it's a complete game of who you spend time with and what's pumping into your ears. Perspective is really the only thing. Honestly, as you were talking, I was just thinking about to my morning, basically the last hour and a half of my day so far has been just talking about nothing but what I would call micro failures. I break failure into two categories, micro or macro. A macro failure is dying. A macro failure is, filing chapter 11 and going directly out of business. A macro failure is somebody you care about punching you physically in the face and saying, you're a piece of shit, I will never talk to you again. I deem almost everything else a micro failure, and I believe that most people look at micro failures and make them bigger than they are. I've got a lot of things not going well. I have way more things not going well than I have things going well in volume, but my overall is going well. My day-to-day is not. And I think most people have it reversed. Most people don't take the chances, aren't doing the things on a day-to-day basis to protect themselves from the day-to-day shit, the day-to-day failures, but what's happening is they don't realize at a macro, they're not moving forward, and so they're losing. Like when I lose a big client, I have no choice. When somebody thinks I stink because they didn't like my talk because I cursed, I have no choice. When an event doesn't go as well as you want, you have no choice, it happened. The question becomes, what are you gonna do about it? I like micro failure. I hate macro failure, like death of your business is bad. But to me, you know what's funny? I'll use a boxing analogy. My favorite boxing, I watch a lot of boxing. I think boxing is a very interesting, and I'm super into mixed martial arts, but I grew up on boxing, I understand it better. And I like watching it because there's so many things that happen in boxing. First of all, what I love about boxing is there's nowhere to hide. You know, like it's super interesting, right? There's nowhere to hide. Number two, there's a scenario in boxing that I love the most. For some reason, there's nothing more interesting to me than watching somebody get knocked down in the first round and then go on to win the fight easily. It's an interesting psyche, right? And I like that, and this is what I'm thinking about it, which is like, here's what's bad in boxing and in business. Going into a fight, getting knocked in the first round and losing the match. Bad. Getting knocked down and then having the adversity to readjust to what you got caught on and navigating it to easily win a fight is remarkable. That's how I think about entrepreneurship. The reason so many people struggle with entrepreneurship is you have micro failures almost daily, and they're very in your face. You can't hide. And I like that. I like failure because I think I deserve it.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.